Professor Swartz and Professor Qoboshiyane, representatives of funders, government officials that are present here, delegates attending this conference. Indeed, on behalf of the Premier and the Executive Council of this province and the beautiful people of the province of the Eastern Cape, I convey our warm greetings to all conference delegates. This important conference could not have been organized at a better time and place than Eastern Cape, in this port city of Nelson Mandela Metro. This conference is also taking place for our leadership and delegates during the 100th anniversary or centenary anniversary of the late O.R. Tambo, as well as the sinking of SS Mendi, as we all know. The reason why I'm citing O.R. Tambo leadership is because he is the only man I know who have been saluted by generals of the state and government, whilst he was a non-state citizen in his own country. As we progress to our deliberations in this important conference, we must be inspired by illustrious leadership of O.R. Tambo and the immeasurable courage of the great African warriors and their chaplain, Reverend Yopa, who perished also in the English Channel. In welcoming you in this province of ours, I want to give updates on the work we are doing as a provincial government, together with the national government and the private sector, to grow our economy by implementing Ocean's Wealth programs linked to Operation Pakistan, which gives the Eastern Cape an opportunity to benefit from the economic potential of its 800-kilometer coastline. Ocean's economy is one of the 6 areas to stimulate growth in our economy in the provincial economic development strategy. In taking forward this vision of Operation Pakistan in the province, we set ourselves the following agenda on aquaculture. We are currently refurbishing the hatchery in Umtata Dam, as well as building capacity at Solo Agricultural Research and Development Institute to serve as an aquaculture incubator. Support will also be provided to catfish pilot project in the areas of rock drainage. And through the Small Harbour and Coastal Development Initiative led by the National Department of Public Works, our coastal municipalities, Honourable Minister, have identified aquaculture and tourism projects, as well as coastal property development. In the oil and gas lab, the province is targeting liquid fuels, including bunkering services and biofuels, gas to power generation, development of commercial and industrial gas, and oil rig service industry. And our vision as a province is to become the biggest bunkering service center in the continent. We are pleased with the progress in the first offshore bunkering services that started in May 2016. It has proved beyond reasonable doubt that Nelson Mandela is one of the most suitable locations for offshore bunkering services. This is also beginning to open up other economic opportunities in the whole value chain. The Ngqura port is always hosting 3 oil rigs at every given moment, as confirmed. The commitment by national government to allocate 1,000 megawatts gas to power generation to Kucha ITZ is also warmly welcomed. The Department of Economic Development, Environmental Affairs and Tourism, in partnership with Nelson Mandela University, is in an advanced stage of baseline studies on the shale gas potential in the Karoo and other parts of the province. These initiatives, ladies and gentlemen, place the Kucha ITZ and Ngqura in a better position for liquid natural gas industry and gas to power generation. Maritime skills are a critical enabler in the ocean's economy. Hence, the Department of Education is planning to expand the research of the maritime high schools and other parts to other parts of the province in the year 2018. Add to the provincial maritime skills plan, focus on maritime education and training at basic and post-schooling level, skills development for employment and self-employment, as well as labor market interventions. This is what we think can drive this economy to where we're supposed to see it going. In the 5 trends shaping of global maritime industry identified by IHS, it is noted as the requirements for more technology advanced system increase, the global shipping industry faces a serious challenge of managing an aging workforce. Seafarers all over the world are getting older because fewer cadets are being trained to replace the senior officers. To attract the next generation of maritime professionals, shipyards must become more technologically advanced and innovative. And the seafarers must learn new skills and integrate new technology. Maritime skills, we are progressing as a province of the Eastern Cape, and the progress has been made through various initiatives such as the pilot, where learners will be placed in tech yards, place 5 apprentices, and Tide Marine in partnership with MEC. We are pleased that more than partners have submitted proposals to place more learners in the maritime industry with provincial government, and these are being processed by the provincial government. About 26 out of 29 learners study maritime in one of the high schools, Wenyati Maritime High School and George Randall High Schools, passed their studies last year. And Kuka Development Corporation has conducted a detailed labor focus for maritime economic potential with Kuka IDZ and Nelson Mandela Bay Metropolitan Municipality. Transnet Port Authority in East London, ladies and gentlemen. Port Elizabeth and Kuka Ports approved plans for development of maritime training centers to develop specialized skills in each port. East London Port will start processes to open its academy during this month. SAMSA is currently developing a specialized maritime curriculum for TVET colleges, whilst LNMU has established maritime engineering department. Skills project coordinates artisans and engineers development partnership. In collaboration with MEC, the provincial government honorable minister will also train 10 tech employees on maritime related matters. Coastal municipalities need 10 million to complete their detailed business plan aimed at developing the coastal towns to benefit from the ocean's economy, except one of our local municipalities next door, which is Ndambe, which has already completed its business plan. Oil and gas exploration, SAMSA is currently conducting a study to assess the economic contribution and employment opportunities created by offshore bunkering industry in Nelson Mandela Bay Metro, which also map out industry value chain activities that provide potential or beneficiation by the local industry. Economic development and tourism, as well as environmental affairs, has completed a detailed business case for the gas to power generation at Kuka IDZ, and government's expectation from this work system of liquid natural gas transfer, allocation of 1,000 megawatts plant, 35% local beneficiation from 25 billion investment. Therefore, small industry players surely is going to be open. Talks about pipeline from Kuka to Mosques are almost 80% in favor of the Eastern Cape. The pipeline will also open another platform for local beneficiation. The Department of Economic Affairs is also exploring feeding East London Port with liquid natural gas to supply industry around Buffalo City Metro and Wild Coast Special Economic Zone. In pursuit of its plans, our government will also identify areas where small, medium enterprises and black industrialists can fully participate in the program. With regards to oil rig repairs, honorable delegates, the provincial government will conduct a business case study which will include opportunity cost and cost benefit analysis to help the province sustain current oil rigs repair in Muka, given its commercial potential. The gas power generation is said to have a potential to contribute 8,500 jobs during construction and 300 permanent jobs, with more jobs coming in from downstream industries. Through Operation Pakisa, the province identified 5 aquaculture developmental zone ADZs, which use seawater in Koloka, Putendane, as all body knows from the province of the Eastern Cape, East London IDZ in the area of Hamburg, Kuka IDZ, Nelson Mandela Bay, and at Koloka currently the project is at a design stage, which will require huge capital investment and capital injection to put up seawater reservoir and bulk infrastructure. Though 2 operators from East London IDZ, Oceanwise and Pure Oceans, were liquidated leadership. Owing to the huge operational costs, 7 out of 11 aquaculture sites have secured investment, and IDZ is progressing well in securing other investors. The DTI has since allocated 40 million investment incentive to East London IDZ. for this sector to attract investors, whilst IDZ is working with Scandinavian company ACPA to design cost-effective infrastructure to ensure sustainability. With regards to Kuka IDZ site, where we have developed a business plan at the zone which will constitute 60% freshwater fish farming and 40 mariculture, we are looking for investments to help drive this aquaculture development zone. There are fish farms operated by few companies here in Port Elizabeth on our executive name. And our department is reviving hatcheries, as I indicated, in Umtata Dam and Toro for aquaculture training and incubation, develop cost-effective and sustainable agricultural system in partnership with governments of Lower Saxon and Western Connecticut University, for which they visited the province and we have signed memorandum of understanding as well as agreement. Their professionals have already visited our sites as I'm speaking. With already secured market within African continent, ECDC and IDC funded private sector partners started cash fish pilot in Craft Rainet, giving jobs to about 116 young people. Provincial government has resolved that our department shall build technical capacity to coordinate aquaculture programs in the province and set aside funds for farm support in this sector. Our focus now in this regard is to create supporting funding model, mainstream refurbish existing port facilities, unlock investment in port facilities, implement strategic projects at East London Port, ensuring public procurement and localization program, and preferential procurement for African Maritime Charter. To date, 1,200 tons and 40 tons have been refurbished by Transnet National Port Authority, with additional installation of 90-ton posts to support the fishing industry in the port of Port Elizabeth. Refurbish of a Grape Dock has started in East London and will be completed by April 2017. This is one of the strategic elements, which is the boat building investment, which we are taking solidly as a province. We have a responsibility to ensure that people of the province, the unemployed entrepreneurs in the sector, benefit from this program through investment as well as skills development. Our government is working towards obtaining funds for investment, Honorable Minister said, in this sector to help companies that are operating in this field with the funding challenges they always face. We need about 80 million to finance some of the strategic projects in the Port of Port Elizabeth to realize growth targets set in the operation practice. ECDC, as I'm standing here, approved 20 million already to fund the contract secured by Tide Maritime from Transnet to manufacture raft tech boats in Port Elizabeth, and this is expected to create 70 jobs as we are speaking in this conference. About 8.7 million has been secured for Nelson Mandela Composite Cluster, non-profit entity to drive sector-associated development, such as maritime manufacturing, composite innovation, skills development, value supply chain development. And I think these are the indication of progress thus far we are making. Given the fact that there is a lot of research output focusing on oil, gas, shipbuilding, aquaculture by the province's universities, such as Nelson Mandela Prof, Rhodes University and Watasa Sulu universities. We have moved to ensure closer working relationship with these universities and other institutions of higher learning in the province to help us realize the target we set for oceans economy. Owing to the importance of oceans economy in our growth trajectory, is considering setting up a fund to support oceans initiatives, such as aquaculture, that have potential to benefit local fishing communities along the coast as well. The 800-kilometer coastline in the province gave us an opportunity to use the maritime resources to bring development to the communities along the coast. Together with our land, our 800-kilometer coastal line are the two national endowments that can help us to grow economic growth. Any economic growth must be people-centered. Investing in education must be centered around human development and not just profit and revenue streams for private companies involved. We engaged on this program as government because we want to see small businesses, communities along the coast partnering with the industry to reap the same rewards, to benefit from these natural endowments that infrastructure development will accompany it. Oceans economy, automotive sector, light manufacturing, renewable energy, agro-processing, and tourism are our strategic programs to grow provincial economy, to create jobs for local youth, business opportunities for local firms, especially small and medium enterprises. The report I presented delegates above show a provincial government that is working with the private sector, civil society, communities, schools, national government, with others to attract funding and investment for manufacturing, training, education, skills development, aquaculture and maritime, transport, oil, gas to grow our provincial economy. With these natural endowments, Eastern Cape can remain a labor reservoir. This meeting should come up with workable plans to partner with Eastern Cape government to implement the program I tabled here. Only this province has 800-kilometer coastline in this country, and we have to use that to benefit the people of this province. Let's work together to reduce unemployment, eradicate poverty in the province through these programs, and add 177 billion through the sector into our economy. When we do this well, we can create the possible 1 million jobs we are speaking about by increasing the current 300 million tons of cargo with another good percentage to benefit all of us to maximize benefit. Honorable Minister, directly to welcome you, sir, and the delegates from Africa and other countries of the continent. This is a province that has graduated the first veterinarian as early as 1886, the grandson of your soldier, outside this continent in Britain, if I can say. And this is the province also which graduated a Black African veterinarian inside the universities of this country, Africa, Dr. Bao. This is a province which I believe is the first to present the first Black chartered accountant, who was once a vice chancellor, is now called USU, which used to be called University of Transport, Professor Weisman. This is the province that also delivered for the first time, Professor, if I'm correct, the first Black female African chartered accountant from UNTAD. And therefore, the academic prowess and the exploitation of skills, there is only one measure we can do so. It is to open opportunities and frontiers of new opportunities as we are doing. That will be a guarantor that Eastern Cape is not only militant in terms of resource-based capacity to the strength that is oozing in the mantra of what we can do, but it is when people of this province are exercising their right to reposition this province to become a new green platinum, a new green gold, so that we can harvest those gains, we can harness them, we can have a long-term range plan so that we can ensure that young and old, as we were saying, youth and elderly can also benefit from this situation. It can't only be investment in energy. That will be a guarantee of a future that we like to see. We still want to leverage from the leadership that we have had, so that the country that we are inheriting as young people is not trash and diminishing in bigger extension, because we can't think beyond the crisis. I trust these delegates that we are going to tighten bolts and nuts to ensure that the economic stimulation and growth of this province is going to have a major positive impact in this country. There is tomorrow everlasting. Life is not ending. We are going to soldier on to ensure that we are giving guarantee from the generations after us. When they receive this country, they don't speak in our place, because we've got a duty to lead today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, MEC Mlibo Qobshiyane. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is someone who really needs almost no introduction, given his high profile for many years on South Africa's political stage. As well as being General Secretary of the South African Communist Party, he's been in his present cabinet position since 2009. I think it's fair to say that over the past couple of years, it's probably been one of the toughest political portfolios going. And as has already been alluded to by a couple of speakers, it's had a fairly busy couple of weeks. So please welcome the Minister of Higher Education and Training, the Honourable Dr. Mlibo Qobshiyane.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chris. I haven't had your voice for a while. It's nice to hear it again. Let me start by greeting our MEC Mlibo Qobshiyane, who is representing the Premier, and Mayor of Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality, Councillor April Trolley, Professor Derek Swartz, the Vice Chancellor of the Nelson Mandela University. Thank you. I don't know how to lips or tongue. Say NMMMU. It's NMU now, that's easy. Professor Malek Puzanjani, the CEO of Samic, and all the distinguished guests who are here, including international delegates and representatives from the marine industry, government officials, researchers and academics, ladies and gentlemen, and comrades, good morning. Now, as MEC Qoboshiyane said, this year is the centenary of the sinking of the SS Mende. And I want to say that our cadets, who I understand have spent 3 months in the sea, who are also here, they are real trailblazers. Now, MEC Qoboshiyane, there's a story that is normally told that you will hear many black South Africans demanding transformation in rugby, in cricket, and everything. But there's one sport that they're very silent about. It's swimming. Because as the story goes, black South Africans are scared of water. So the Blues can remain with their sport. So now I'm saying our cadets are trained. That's the idea of getting into the sea is one thing, but to stay for 3 months, I hope that then we are laying a basis for a new generation that is not afraid of water or afraid of the sea. I'm very pleased to address you today at the 2017 South African Maritime Industry Conference, where the next few days will provide an important platform for expanding the maritime industry potential in Africa through strategic conversations amongst the key role players. I'm confident that these conversations will result in numerous opportunities for investment in both the South African and African maritime sector, whilst the development of the oceans economy and its related human resource development needs are deliberated. I must say I'm pleased to hear what is being done and the synergies in the messages from the MEC and the Mayor, which I think lays a very strong foundation to really develop the ocean economy, nationally, but especially in this part of the world. Our country offers vast opportunities for maritime development, with the ocean seen as its 10th province. It is also located along one of the busiest and oldest international shipping trade routes, which make it an ideal halfway station for international trade and provide a linkage for the center of global trade between West and East. This exclusive economic zone is, by the way, larger than the the land area, and presents a diverse environment rich with economic opportunities, which varies from seabed mining, oil and gas exploration, commercial and small-scale fisheries, through the aquaculture, farming in the coastal zone, diverse tourism and recreational activities, and manufacturing, for example, boat building, but also processing of ocean products for pharmaceuticals and minerals. Our country has to benefit from these resources. South Africa has the potential of becoming a maritime nation where the maritime industry contributes to economic growth and offers opportunities for job creation. In 2013, the maritime sector contributed about 13.6%, an equivalent of 55 billion rand to the GDP, and approximately 60% of the country's GDP is generated through trade. It is projected that the maritime industry has the potential to make a contribution of between 129 billion rand and 177 billion rand to GDP by 2033, thus creating an estimated 800,000 to 1 million jobs. Our ability as a nation to participate globally in the maritime economy, unfortunately, has dissipated over the years, and there are various challenges in the sector. We have significant expenditure on shipping, and currently the supply of skills within the sector is very limited. There are only about 3,500 seafarers, and the global demand for seafarers is estimated 250,000. Additional challenges in the maritime field include that there is no integrated human resource plan for its development, and there is lack of an effective skill supply and a demand mechanism. Current training efforts, much as progress is being made, but are still fragmented, and the 3 universities and 2 technical, vocational education and training institutions are facing a number of challenges, especially relating to recruiting competent and qualified lecturers, outdated equipment and financing training infrastructure. Therefore, government aims to establish an earmarked funding grant between the various government departments involved in the maritime industry. It's similar kind of thinking from the province of the Eastern Cape. Skills gaps have been identified in a variety of areas, including maritime skills in the public service, maritime law, marine tourism, maritime international diplomatic skills, and so on. Clearly, more investment in skills development is needed. And that is why we have also increased our investment into skills development for this sector. And the establishment of SAIM is going to be very important in leading the way in addressing some of these weaknesses. Government has indeed prioritized the maritime economy. Our ultimate goal is to transform the maritime sector through the creation of an understanding and awareness, and also on a range of other aspects that includes growing and developing the maritime economy and the maritime skills space. It is indeed pleasing that the Department of Education, especially the one in this province, has designated certain schools as maritime schools, so that we are able to provide a pipeline from school to colleges and universities. Operation Phakisa, as it has been said, is part of South Africa's national strategy, which aims to implement policies and programs faster and more efficiently. And the oceans economy was the first sector targeted for this Operation Phakisa. The focus is on unlocking the economic potential of South Africa's oceans by including representatives from government, industry, labor, civil society, and academic process. That's why we are very happy and excited about the holding of this gathering, representing the various role players. One of the interventions that government has made has been the establishment of a research chair in petroleum geosciences and engineering that will be funded by the National Research Foundation, launched recently. Operation Pakistan for the Oceans economy is highlighted in the 9-point plan to boost economic growth and job creation. In line with this conference needs to provide a platform for government and interested parties to meet and develop shared understanding of needs, opportunities, and possibilities for mutually beneficial participation in Operation Pakistan, and specifically opportunities for private sector participation, as Professor Swartz correctly emphasized. The South African International Maritime Institute, SAIMI, was established in 2014 and continental maritime development requirements as a coordinating body in South Africa to enhance maritime skills and knowledge development. SAIMI plays a bridging and facilitating role by connecting industry, education, and training providers and government entities. It further identifies skills needs gaps in education provision, areas for further research, resource needs, as well as funding gaps in the sector in order to develop more responsive and comprehensive education and training that meets the needs of industry at all skills levels. SAIMI supports the opportunity for collaboration across Africa and internationally, leading to the benefit of high levels of existing institutions in South Africa. It is expected that SAIMI will deliver the National Maritime Skills Development Plan that identifies the academic programs and resources needed within our universities and colleges to produce the skills base to support maritime economic growth. Our Department of Higher Education and Training entered in 2012 into a memorandum of agreement with SAMSA to initiate skills development programs in the maritime sector, the National Skills Fund. Professor Swartz, one of the unintended consequences of fees must form is that it has taken a lot of money, more than 5 billion rand from the National Skills Fund. That's threatening some of our programs that are very important in development. This initiative that I'm talking about with SAMSA benefited 647 unemployed youth and graduates over a 3-year period to the value of 93.6 million. Amongst others, the project led to the focus on cadetships, the cadets that are here, and marine engineering, which are now being facilitated by SAIMI. The National Skills Fund has supported the SA Agalas as a training vessel for the cadetship of our future maritime leaders to the extent of 95 million rand and provided seed funding for the establishment of SAIMI. There is the SA Agalas there. For those who have not seen it, if you can't see it during tea break, you might just go via. That's the vehicle, that's the vessel, sorry, that we are talking about. Now, our department has also made efforts to enable colleges to offer maritime artisan training, or ratings training as it is known. The efforts to pursue economic growth in the ocean economy are also aligned to the African Union's Africa Integrated Maritime Strategy to 2050. And organizations such as SAMSA and SAIMI are increasingly playing a role in forging linkages for participation in the maritime economy. That is why we really appreciate the role played by NMU, especially Professor Swartz, as well as by SAIMI and SAMSA. And don't hold back. Strive to be the best, not only in the continent, in the world in terms of cutting-edge skills to support the ocean's economy and industry. We continue to pledge our support as government on this scope. South Africa also was a founding member of the Indian Ocean Rim Association, and last month as a country we assumed chairpersonship of this body. That provides another opportunity for us. In the context of a rapidly growing economy, the shortage of skills in the maritime industry has been highlighted as I pointed out. Maritime has been identified as one of the scarce skills areas, and numerous studies on the growth prospects of the maritime sector have highlighted this chronic lack of scarce skills. Our department in government is responsible for what is called Outcome 5 of the medium-term strategic framework of government, to produce a skilled and capable workforce for an inclusive economy. It is therefore very important that in order for the maritime economy to be inclusive, that all role players are able to come together and participate. That's another importance of this platform in terms of strengthening a way forward. We are also pleased that there is now, as I've said, the 3 TVET colleges and the 2 universities with NNU playing leadership role there. We are pleased that there are training programs that we've developed. I know Professor Swartz will share this passionately. As we establish these new programs in maritime and ocean economy, they must articulate with each other right from the word go. So that one can go to a TVET college, acquire a diploma, and if that person wants to continue with a degree at a university, those courses or that diploma or certificate from the TVET college will be credited so that we don't have some of these madness that we are having now. That you come out of a TVET college with an engineering diploma, but if you go to university to do an engineering degree, you start from scratch as if you have done no engineering. So it's crucial that there is articulation. In fact, this can act as a pilot on how we can perfect articulation in our entire post-school education training. At least I know you are a champion of that, so at least it's located at the right university. And as you wish, I also wish that even when you're gone, the program continues. Now, equally important is positioning South Africa as a center of maritime excellence, as I've said, through setting a towards generating the high-level research and technology development that will support the creation of new knowledge and technology solutions. Amongst other things that we've done, as part of supporting the maritime skills for the maritime and oceans economy, is that in partnership, the Department of Transport, in partnership with the Transport Education and Training CETA, has created an opportunity for young students to complete a master's degree at the World Maritime University in Sweden. Indeed, I was very pleased to participate in one of their graduation ceremonies at Malmö. Equally important is positioning South Africa as a center. SAIMI, together with the CSIR and in consultation with a broad range of stakeholders, has facilitated completion of the research, innovation, and knowledge management roadmap for the South African maritime sector. Economic growth and job creation cannot be produced by government alone, much as government has an important role to play. We need to create an enabling environment that makes it possible for investors to invest, for businesses to grow by exploring new opportunities, and for young people to enter the job market through access to education and appropriate level of skills. And would like to really encourage young people to explore this sector. We intend to make it a growing economic sector, maritime and the oceans economy. My department is fully committed towards the creation of an enabling environment to support the creation of a skilled and capable workforce, to support not only an inclusive growth path, but also an inclusive maritime and oceans industry. I trust that this conference will result in the collaboration needed to develop a program of action needed in the maritime sector. Allow me, Program Director, to conclude by congratulating our cadets. I think we need to give them a big round of applause. Thank you for choosing to join this sector. I am told that the National Skills Fund, through SAIMI, funded 30 cadets, 7 engine cadets, and 23 deck cadets. As I've said, they are from the sea, and they are real trailblazers. They will be placed in international trading vessels to complete their 12-month learnership, which qualifies them for an officer exam. We also want to plead with the private sector in this industry. Give our young people an opportunity to do internships in your companies. We will never skills development, yes, has to happen through our universities and colleges. But that's incomplete, especially in this sector, if there is no work placement. Work placement for students, internships, apprenticeships, but also we need to place lecturers in industry so that they know what is happening now, that is current. They go and teach what is happening now. I always, as I end, make an example that we can't have our TVET colleges, for example, in training motor mechanics. I'm going to disclose my age now. That we are training students on a car called Valiant. Valiant is long gone. It was a classic in its own time. It made some of us to try to be bush mechanics because when the car is swinging and wouldn't start, you go open the bonnet and you look for the points. And you get the sandpaper and try and clean the points. And more often than not, it will start again. But there's no Valiant today. We need lecturers who know what this maritime industry means currently so that they are able to improve prospects of employability for our young people. We wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you very much. Minister, before you sit down, before the other dignitaries sit down, I'm going to ask a small favour of you, Mayor Philip as well, Professor. Could we have a photograph of you just in front of the picture of the Agulhas there? As the dignitaries, MEC as well, please, the 4 key speakers. As dignitaries have their photograph taken for the record, it is tea time, ladies and gentlemen. We have lost a little bit of time, so